Father David here. One of the most frequent comments I get from supporters is, "Shut up, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about." And I make this video today to ask you, Trump supporters who make comments like that, to engage with the ideas and come up with your own responses as to why you believe what you believe, rather than calling names. Because are you okay with billionaires overseeing federal agencies that are investigating those same billionaires? And if you are, tell us why that's cool. Are you all right with foreign rich people sending millions of dollars directly into Donald Trump's pockets through this Dogecoin meme and other ways? And if you are, tell us why that's a good idea. Are you all right with deporting 500,000 people who are here quite legally back to countries that are known for torture, violence, and all kinds of horrors simply because Trump can do that? And if you're fine with that, tell us why. Are you all right with imposing tariffs on our closest allies, but not on Vladimir Putin? And if you are, give us an explanation. And be sure that every explanation you give will work for both parties, so that the next time there's a president of the other party in power, you're going to be all right with these same ways of being. Hopefully, once you engage the actual ideas, what you might come to see is that the price that you are paying because Trump makes you feel good is very expensive indeed. Not only for the national pocketbook, but for the national soul. Give it some thought, and I'm happy to hear what your answer is.
For the Trump administration, I'm glad that we're talking about it in those terms, because I think one of the great fears with this case was that if the court did not say anything about the substance and scope of the 14th Amendment, media would say that the court had saved birthright citizenship. The court has not saved birthright citizenship. It simply kicked that can down the line and made the legal conditions under which a future suit over birthright citizenship can actually be resolved. This is a huge win for the Trump administration because the court has essentially kneecapped lower courts from stopping this administration when it engages in lawless and unconstitutional behavior. This is all happening in an environment where the Trump administration is not only going after undocumented persons and deporting people without the benefit of due process, they're doing so while they are also upending the legal landscape, but making it harder for pro bono outfits to secure the help they need from law firms to bring these suits. And now with this decision, they're essentially saying that litigants will have to file in each particular jurisdiction around the United States in order to be clear that their resolution will have legally binding effect. And that means you're just going to need an army of lawyers at a time when that army of lawyers is not going to be forthcoming. So make no mistake about this. The court has given this administration an enormous win. They have put one hand behind the backs of those who are trying to fight against this administration, and they have dealt a death blow to the rule of law.
Watch this.
As of 2025, the top 1% hold 31% of all U.S. wealth, and the top 0.01% hold more wealth than they did in 1929. All while millions of Americans struggle to afford basic needs like housing, healthcare, and food. That kind of imbalance didn't just happen on its own. It's the result of policy decisions, especially starting in the 1980s under Reagan. We cut corporate tax rates. We slashed the top marginal tax rate from 70% to 28%. We broke up labor unions. We deregulated industries, making it easier for them to consolidate power. And we cut public health and social safety programs. And these weren't just Reagan-era ideas and then forgotten. They've become the foundation of an economic model that we've supported across multiple administrations, regardless of party. At the same time, the federal minimum wage hasn't changed in 15 years, meaning it's worth far less today than it was back then, all while housing, healthcare, childcare, and food costs have surged. Millions of Americans work full-time, often with more than one job, and still can't cover basic needs without assistance. And we wonder why public health is struggling in this country when millions of Americans can't afford healthy food, clean environments, stable housing, and access to healthcare.
Watch this.
How people literally are walking the streets and being threatened. They're being asked for their papers. People are now walking around with their passports. There was assertions that there were checkpoints. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know if that was.
The exemptions, pregnancy is covered, correct? point that we'd like for you to address the Republicans, and let's have a dialogue this way and not to a camera. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
But
The gentleman yields back.
But I'm asking the question, what about a miscarriage?
The gentleman
I'm
yields
trying to
back.
engage in the way that the gentleman.
The lady is out of order. The gentleman yields back.
Oh, so we don't want to answer
Is
for
there
women having
someone on the
miscarriages and
Democratic
bleeding out in
side
parking
who
lots?
looks to be recognized?
There are 13.7 million Americans on the other side of that screen right there. Hello? Hello. I'm talking to you because I work for you. And they deserve to see what is happening here. Because there are plenty of districts, including Republican ones, where 25% of your constituents are on Medicaid. 40% of your constituents are on Medicaid. And yes, I am
Will the gentlelady yield?
I am talking to them, and I will not yield because it was a terribly disrespectful comment, and I will not yield to disrespectful men. Thank you very much.
It's time for the trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. Wanna come back? Oh yeah. It's the here, put that there. Put that.
All right, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully, everything comes with the internet here today. So we'll see how it goes. I know I'm a little late. 11:23 a.m. Pacific Time Zone here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We are currently sitting at about. Are we at 90 already? I think we're at 99 already, according to my watch. My watch says we're at 100 already. So we're at 100 degrees. We're supposed to get, I think, up to like 106 or something like that. So yeah, triple digits. Here we come. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with all the buffering and the glitchiness and everything else. I did see that Sandy was first. My chat is not scrolling to the top, to the very beginning. But I remember Sandy was in there, so hello, Sandy. Thanks for being here. Fancy might have been number two. I'm not sure. I think that the names are still not coming out right. I think I was on Hal's. I was watching Hal's. I think the names were back to normal on his. On mine, they're not, or they're still doing the ats. So sorry about that, but I think it's out of my control. I was looking into my settings to see if there was something in my settings I needed to redo. I've been looking for any announcements or notices from YouTube and about the problem, and because a lot of times if there's an issue, they'll send you a notice and they'll say, "Yeah, we're aware of the problem and we're fixing it," or "Here's how you fix it." I haven't heard anything, so I don't know. But so I guess we're gonna have to put up with the ats instead of your chosen like screen name or whatever. So yeah, but I see Jen Up the Bass is here. So hello to Jen Up the Bass. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the driver's lounge. Fancy is putting in some noise canceling tiles. Is that for your what are we calling it? Podcast, blog, vlog, show? I think Fancy's getting ready. Fancy says I'll post a video later for your amusement. Gary, can I call you Gary? Is here. So I guess I must have skipped. I didn't see. I'm not able to go up to see everyone here. Apparently Brooklyn's here, so good to see Brooklyn. Because Gary is saying Brooklyn Tom bias. Fancy Factory. I'm going to sneak one of Trucker John's donuts. Nobody ever catches me. Wow, 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 wow. Hey, the donuts, you don't have to sneak them. They're for everyone. Go ahead, grab one. Grab a donut, grab a coffee. Let's kick back. So yeah, now there's Brooklyn. Now I see Brooklyn. SJU says, now I see it. Now you see, I see, we all see. I'm outside. Yeah, it's hard to read the screen if you're outside, probably. Pam J's here. Hey, Pam J, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in to the driver's lounge. How's that new AC working? I hope it's working out okay for you. Hope that got installed and everything correctly. Joe DeBase. Thanks, Fancy. No way he suspects us because we are donut snobs, according to Trucker John. You are donut snobs, and if you don't like my donuts, then go get your own damn donuts somewhere else. Brooklyn says, Jen, I'm working on the premiere date for Brooklyn SJU. Da da da. Yeah, you know the thing they do. Pam J, the word for today is hydrate. Yes, stay hydrated. It's going to be hot. I know it's going to be hot here, and it's probably hot all over the country. So stay hydrated, folks. Gary, can I call you Gary? Says I went without coffee yesterday. Headache. So you went without the coffee because you had a headache, or not having coffee gave you a headache? No. Brooklyn says I'm a cute coffee place. Oh, I'm at a cute coffee place with a book just to get out of the house. What, are you kidding me? What, are you kidding me? Nick Rich is here, night number 10. Good day, all. Good day. Good day. We got 23 watching, 25 thumbs up, so we are at a bit of a surplus. But like I always say, you can never have too big of a surplus. So hit that thumbs up button. Okay, I'm a bit, to be honest, I think I'm a little groggy today. I was up late last night. I don't think I got to bed till like 4 a.m. or something. By the time I quit work and got, logged out and Ubered home and got home and everything. So I'm a little groggy. I might be a little groggy today, guys. Just letting you know ahead of time. So yeah, user PH9WT3UE7C. I forget if you had another. Oh yeah, that's William. Okay, yeah, because of the W. Oh, I'm just going to call you William if you don't mind. Hello, William. Good to see you. So everyone, just know that that's William. If it's easier to remember everything. Jolie's here. Hey, Jolie. Good to see Jolie. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for being here. As always, I do appreciate you when you can come in. Let's see. Nick Rich says, do people see their names highlighted without the at the beginning? Do people see their names highlighted without the at? I don't even understand the question. I think maybe I'm too groggy. I don't even understand the question. All I know is that they're not showing their real screen names since yesterday. So YouTube is doing this. It's not me. I mean, I as far as I know, it's not me. I was looking through all the little, the whatchamacallit, to try to find the settings and everything, trying to find if there was some button I didn't push or needed to be pushed, or I pushed it accidentally at some point. So I don't know. William says, this is the only place on YouTube that doesn't give my username, which is William. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. All I know is that over the years, my channel has done some weird things, and then all of a sudden it'll correct itself. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe I've been hacked. I don't know. Oh, maybe we had a bunch of trolls the other day. Maybe one of the trolls kind of hacked me or something. That was their big hack. But I'm pretty sure it'll probably get corrected at some point. Fancy says, Jolie, I did not eat Trucker John's donuts. It wasn't me. I think the lady doth protest this too much. Or something like that. Blow me, courts. I have your due process. I got your due process hanging. Right down here. Right? Something like that. Let's see what else we got going. Who else we got going in here? Aaron's here, so we got full mod capacity with Jolie and Aaron. So thank you guys for being here. Sandy Foltz says, TJ, that's something. Yeah, you got 230 from a writer for returning this phone. Yeah, if you guys didn't see my video, it's one of my shorts. I believe. Yeah, it was a short. I actually made the video that I made. I had to cut that down. It was about 10 minutes of me kind of rambling on. Maybe I'll put the full version out. But really, you're not missing much. So I cut out all the stupid rambling part and I made it into a short. But yeah, last night I got this guy left his phone in the back seat, and oh, that's right, because he was sitting in the front seat. See, it was like a couple. It was like two couples, and when I dropped him off, he was sitting in the front seat, but he paid with a credit card, and the credit card readers are in the back seat. So he just went to the back seat to run his card, and that's when he must have set his phone down, like on the seat. That's how that happened. I just now kind of figured that out. So anyhow, I dropped him off, and then I went, and I didn't notice it. And like I said in the video, I do always glance back. You know, I turn my head, and I try to look back and see if anything got left behind, and I didn't see anything. So anyhow, I went to my next place. I went over to Planet Hollywood, and I was in the line over there at Planet Hollywood for probably 20 or 30 minutes, or yeah, at least 20 minutes probably. And then I picked up someone there, and then they were going to the Rio, so I picked them up. And when the lady, it was a couple, and the lady got in the car, she goes, "Oh, someone left their phone," and I'm like, "Oh darn, you know," and she handed it to me, and I looked at it, and you could see on the screensaver, you could see him, and I think it was him and his daughters and his wife and stuff like that. And I go, "Oh, I know this guy. I know who it is." And she's like, "Oh, okay." I go, "Yeah, I'll get it back to him." Or I go, "They'll probably be calling." You know, people always do that. You know, they'll get someone else's phone or whatever, and they'll call the phone. And sure enough, a couple minutes later, the thing started doing you know, that kind of pinging noise, that weird noise, like so. As it turns out, his wife had, you know, they were using his wife's phone to try to find his phone, and it was so I picked it up, and of course it just says, you know, there's like you need a password in order to open it. So all I could do is, you know, I was hearing this weird, you know, kind of alarm type of thing, and I knew that they were tracking the phone or trying to find the phone. So anyhow, I just clicked it off because I didn't want to hear that noise anymore. And I set the phone down, and I knew that they'd be calling at some point. And then about a minute later, or even less than a minute later, all of a sudden the phone rings. And so I went ahead and answered it. And that's when the guy goes, because I go, "Hello?" And he goes, "Hello, do you have my phone?" And, you know, it was so funny because I go, "Yeah, I'm talking on it right now." You know, and he's like, oh yeah. He goes, "That's right, yeah," you know, and he was a nice guy and everything, you know. And so then I said, "Yeah, I got the phone." I go, "Hey, look, I've got passengers right now, and I'm taking them to the Rio, and as soon as I'm done, I'll swing back by, and right where I dropped you off, and I'll pick up the phone, or I'll give you the phone." And he's like, "Oh, that's great, man, that's great." So I said, yeah, I'll probably be about 20 minutes. And he goes, I'll be there, man. I'll be there. Okay. And I go, and I'm like, okay, so right there in front, right? Where I dropped you off? And he goes, yeah, right there, that same spot. I go, okay. So I dropped those people off, and I go to the spot where we were at, and he's not there. I didn't see him. I parked, and I'm looking at the people, and I'm like trying to remember exactly, what he looked like, and I'm thinking, and I'm wondering if he knows what I look like, or if he remembers my car or whatever. And then I'm just thinking, well, surely he'll just call again and say, hey, where are you, or where you're coming, or whatever. And they never did call, and so I ended up driving kind of around because it's kind of like a circular kind of thing. And then I actually was parked there and for a while, but there's like doormen there and valet guys, and they don't really like you just sitting there. It's a busy spot. That's where ride shares dropping off people, cabs are dropping off people, town cars and limos are dropping off people. So it's kind of a busy spot, and you're not really supposed to just sit there. That's why I kind of was circling around. But I also parked there stationary for 5-10 minutes at a time. And I'm expecting him to call me. I'm like, come on, call me. And they never did call me. And I'm like, what the hell? Now I'm thinking like, what the hell happened? Did this guy pass out or something or what, So finally I got to go. I can't sit here all day. So I went ahead and took off, and I started doing a couple more rides. And I figured either they'll eventually call back, or if they don't, I'll just turn the phone into lost and found, and they can go from there with it. Because I felt like I did all I could do. And so then I did a couple more rides, and now it was getting kind of late. Now it's like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna call it a night. And then there was a radio call that came in saying that they needed cabs at the airport. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just do one more run at the airport, see how that goes, and then I'll call it a night. So I go all the way out to the airport, and then by the time I get to the airport, of course, every other taxi cab driver in Las Vegas got the call too, because the radio goes out to all the taxi companies. And so by the time I get there, there's a big long line, and I'm just sitting there in line. I'm like, and I'm thinking, well, if I don't start getting closer, this thing doesn't start moving within the next 10 minutes, I'm just gonna go home, or go back to the yard. And so I'm sitting there. All of a sudden, then the phone rings. His phone, it's his phone. And so I'm like, there he is. So I pick it up and I go, hello. And he's like, hey. He goes, I'm so sorry, man. He goes, we missed you. And he goes, I was at the wrong side, because there's like the back, there's another side, but that's not where I dropped him off. I don't know. So I don't know why he went to the other side. That is. The thing is I will meet you right where I dropped you off. That's what we agreed on. But he went to the other side, and then apparently him and his wife got split up, and his wife had the phone, so he couldn't call me. And then he said he couldn't find his wife for a while, and it was a whole thing. It was just one of those things, And so he said, man, if you could bring my phone to me, he goes, I'll make it worth your while and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And I go, this line I'm in isn't moving anyhow. And he goes, I can see you. What, you're out by the airport? Because, they, on his wife's phone, they could track, his phone, his phone locator. And I go, yeah, I'm at the airport right now, but I've been sitting in this line and it's not moving. So I can just go ahead and take it back to you. And he's like, oh man, that would be so great. If you could do that, that'd be so wonderful. And then as I'm driving, so I get out of the line, I start driving back, and then he keeps telling me, okay, so I'm at the place where you dropped me off, all this kind of stuff. And I go, yeah, I know where you're at. I know exactly where you're at. And then I go, so finally I just go, you know what, we could just keep the phone on, and then as I get closer, I'll just tell you when I'm there. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah, okay. So for the whole ride, from the airport back to the Strip, I just kept the phone on. I had it on speaker, and I'm going, okay, I'm like 5 minutes away, and then when I got in the Strip, okay, I'm on the Strip. I'm just a couple minutes, and then I was like, okay, now I'm up the driveway, and he's like, okay, cool, and the whole time, he kept going on and on about how thankful he was, and he's gonna make it worth my while, and all this kind of stuff. And I just go, well, I appreciate that, no problem. So then when I get there, I pull up, and then I see him, and then he sees me, and we're like, hey, you know. So he comes over to my driver's side. I had the window rolled down, and I go, here you go, man. And I gave him the phone, and then he just handed me a bunch of money, like and I looked at it, and I saw, the first thing I saw was $100 bill, you know. And I didn't know, and then I kind of looked at it, and then I think I saw on the inside another $100 bill. And so I looked at him. I go, I was like, oh man. I go, no, this is way too much, man. And he's like, no. He goes, no. I'm giving you everything I have right now in my wallet, because you deserve it, man. He goes, you came out here, you went above and beyond, and you were out at the airport, and you were here, and I missed you before, you know. And he goes, so I'm just really thankful you came back, because I really need my phone, you know, and all this stuff. And I was just like, oh man, well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I don't know, we shook hands, and we just, went back and forth about, I was saying, thank you, I appreciate it. And he was saying, no, I appreciate you. Finally we, said goodbye. And his wife was waving at me. Everyone was happy. And he was happy he got his phone. I was happy I got $230. Yeah, because I looked, there was like $200 bills, and I think a 20 and a 10 or something like that. So then I went home. So I went back to the yard happy. It kind of makes up for yesterday I was all pissy because someone didn't tip me for a $35 fare. So things kind of balance out. There's good and there's bad. And that now is the record for the most money I've ever gotten for returning a phone, because I think this is the first time as a taxi driver that's happened. But when I was doing Uber, there's probably at least, I don't know, maybe 10 or 12 people that left phones, and I always got the phones back to them. And but I did have one guy that gave me $100, and I was really impressed with that. So now this guy last night gives me $230, and he's now the new record holder. I guess I would just have to remember him as the area guy, or Aria, the Aria guy, not area, Aria. The Aria guy is now the new record holder for reward money, or whatever you want to call it, for returning his phone to him. So that's my story. That is my deal. Now the chat was going along, and I can't go back to the beginning. That's what I hate. One of the things I hate about this is I cannot scroll back to the top. So the whole time I was talking, this thing was just going along, and now I can't go back. So sorry about that. But maybe I did go back, because I do see Sandy's chat, or whatever we call it, about the 230. So I guess I am back. But that's about as far back as I can go. So we got Jenna Bass talking about donuts and donut snob. He just can't let stuff go, I guess, apparently. One Vision says, all caps, I follow the Constitution. Read it, people. Good for you. Good for you. Isn't that special? One Coyote Tito, am I who I am? See, I believe you were. Are you Chris Doug? I think you're Chris Doug. I'm not sure though. Oh yeah, Chris Doug. Yeah, this is Chris Doug here, friends. Okay, yeah. So Coyotito, one Coyotito is Chris Doug. Sunny Folds CJ, what would you do if Trump was the writer cat? You asked me the same question yesterday, and you also sent me a text or whatever, or an email asking me that. So this is like the third time you asked me. I've already answered the question. Maybe you didn't hear me the first time, but I did say that I would. I said, okay. So here's what you said: if Trump were riding your cab and did not tip you, I think I said I would tell him to get the fuck out of my cab or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe you'll ask me again tomorrow. I don't know. Nick Rich, my username hasn't changed, but no highlight without the @ anymore. I don't know what's going on. Sandy Folds, I had gone swimming yesterday. Yeah, I remember you said you went swimming, and I commented and said I hope that was a nice, refreshing swim that you had. I do recall that. Brooklyn says AOC is a superstar. I love AOC. I want to have her children. That didn't sound right. She's lovely. I know. I'm old enough to be her great grandfather. I love her as a person. I think she's great. She's awesome. Someday she's going to make a great president. Fancy says it's Werewolf Day on the Movies channel. I'm having a good time. So what do you like better, werewolf movies or zombie movies? Or are we just all burned out of zombie movies? Because we've had about probably close to a 2-decade run now of zombie movies. I mean, I know they were around in the 50s and all that kind of stuff. But, really since, I guess, kind of The Walking Dead and then all the movies that have come out. Now 28 years later is out and all that kind of stuff. Are we just burned out on zombies? Werewolf movies have tried to make a comeback, with what's the one, the glittering movie, the glittering vampires, and then they had werewolves. It seems like zombies are pretty resilient as a genre. Because I think we all do kind of fantasize about, not necessarily zombies, but like End of the World and what we would do, how we would survive these sort of apocalyptic type things. And that's what zombie stories are, very apocalyptic. Am I saying that right? And there's, lots of variations on that. So I think that's why it's enduring. Wes Webb's here, apparently. There's Wes. Hey, gangsters. We're not gangsters. We're trucklers. We're loungers. I like that one. Who was that? Someone was it Josh? Was calling us loungers. I think that's a good one. Loungers. Because we're in the truckers' lounge. Chris Doug says for 1423. I think I'm like 33 minutes behind, 37 minutes behind, I think. That's pretty crazy. Nick Rich, I just can't. I can just imagine how crazy John's chat would be if there was a leaderboard. Apparently, someday we'll get it. I have nothing to do with that. That is at the. Maybe that's what has something to do with why the names have changed. Maybe they're doing stuff. I don't know, but that's completely on YouTube's end. And I have a feeling it'll someday we'll have it. Squirrel Girl's here. Hey, Squirrel Girl, thanks for being here. It says, hi, chat. Hi, Trucker John. I'm listening but can't watch, but I'm here. Well, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. We do have 61 watching, but only 41 thumbs ups. We are operating at a deficit, and that is not acceptable. We are Democrats, most of us, I think, or at least, well, whatever. I am, anyhow. So as a Democrat, I would like us to at least have a balanced budget. So let's hit those thumbs ups so we can be there. Brooklyn, someone gave John a $230 tip. Yeah, I just explained it all. Hopefully you heard that. So I don't have to go through all that again. And I did post a short video of it. also. The one that was titled Lost Phone, I think it's called. One Coyotito 2, otherwise known as Chris Doug, has been a member for 6 months. Greetings, good buddies. And if anything does, that does. For being a member, I do appreciate those memberships. Thank you so much. By the way, Monday, I'm going to do a members only Monday. So if you want to hang out with us on Monday, but want to think about getting a membership. They start off at $1.99 a month, so not too unreasonably priced, I don't think. Jim Base, Nick Rich, oh shit, 11.25 in Vegas. That makes it 4.20 here, or 4.25. Let me just skip on down here a little bit. Michelle's here. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. I know you've been here probably a half an hour ago, but what can I tell you? Brooklyn says it cooled off so much I don't have to use it. Oh, wow. Isn't that ironic? But I'm sure the heat wave will be back. And you'll need to crank that AC up. Gary kind of calling Gary. There's no green in the background. Okay. Does there need to be? Chris Doug says, folks, may I share some good news? My glucose is down from 127 a year ago, now 96 without meds. Oh, that's great news, Chris Doug. That's awesome. Congratulations. You've probably been really working hard to get that down, so good on you. Good on you. Penny 2 Creates here said, hello all, TJ. I saw your lost phone video, another example of why honesty is best. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, do people steal those? I mean, it's lock. It's got a lock on it. I mean, it wouldn't do anyone any good anyhow. But I mean, yeah, I would either, like I said, if I hadn't wasn't able to connect or hook up with that guy, that didn't sound right. I would have just taken it back to the yard and turned it into lost and found, and then they could have called. They would have to call the cab company and say, "Hey, we lost the phone. Did anyone turn it in?" And blah blah blah, and go that way with it. But yeah, honesty is the best. Susie Jones is here. I'm in a full flare OB. I don't know what OB means. Brooklyn says, TJ, you are always in tip-top condition. Oh, yeah. That's me. Tip-top condition, all right. Wes Webb is already ready for a nap. Nappy time for Wes. Paul Burrell's coming in with a joke. I'm not sure if I'm going to should repeat it or not. But somewhat funny. You guys can read that yourselves. Gary, can I call you Gary? Daylight is the nemesis for my job. Wes Green's mower. Gary, can I call you Gary? Sunny Folds, TJ, you need to go back to bed. Really? Am I that bad? Do I look that, I don't know, groggy or sleepy? I actually feel like I'm waking up now. So, of course, this post is probably from 20 minutes ago. So, but you really think I need to go back to bed? Really? Someone else just said that I'm in tip-top form. I think it was Brooklyn. So, we have a difference of opinion there, I guess. I don't know. Chris Doug, otherwise known as One Coyotito 2, says, what borders insanity? Canada and Mexico. That's a good one. Susie Jones says at Fancy High, it's just the YouTube names that you get for your channel. You'll be able to find everybody's channel with the name of the show. Yeah, that's how you find the channels. Yeah, like for me, it's at Trucker John 3. That's how you find my channel, at Trucker John 3. The Soulcraft's here. Hey, Soulcraft, good to see you. Soulcraft says there was a big Google hack Thursday. A lot of people are changing passwords, etc., 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 etc. Susie Jones says, I'm not going to be here very long today, you guys. I feel like shit. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Susie. Yeah, I hope you get better soon. If you need to rest or drink fluids or whatever, I hope you get better. Chris Doug, otherwise known as the Coyotito 2, eat a dandelion. Well, I'm not there yet. We're not at 4,000 subs yet. We're still right there at that 3880, 3888 that we've been hovering at for weeks and weeks and weeks or months now. It's like we've just reached this. We just plateaued here at 3880. So let's get it going. Let's get it going here, guys. Fancy says, see, Rosanna ate the donuts. Oh, it was Rosanna, huh? Sandy Folds says, maybe Trump hacked your account. Yeah, if anyone, it would. I wouldn't put it past him, Sandy. I wouldn't put it past him. Coyotito Chris Doug says YouTube just froze on TV, but not on the phone. Well, then it's probably just, I don't know, your device. Mine does that too, where one works better than the other for a while or whatever. Susie Jones, I'm going to be here long enough to stay awake and smoke a bowl. Well, there you go. Jim at the Base is so desperate to try to get some sort of Trucker John, Boston Brian rivalry or something, or feud. And so he says, Trucker John, it's Boston Brian hacking your systems. He was pissed the other day. It was suggested that you were retaliating for BB invading your turf. Thanks for your attention in the letter. Don't even play like that. Dude, I'm serious. Don't even fucking play like that. Because it's shit like that. I know you're joking. I know it's just a joke. But it is shit like that. If you are saying stuff like that, or anyone's saying stuff like that, and even if they're joking, that's the kind of shit that gets misconstrued, and then it gets back to Bros and Brian that I am actually pissed or whatever, and I'm not. You guys have said it, and you, Gin at the Base, you're the one that says it more than me. I barely even mentioned it. And I know you're joking, and you're going to say Trucker John doesn't have a sense of humor, and now you're living rent-free in my head. You're going to come back with all that fucking bullshit. But I'm just telling you, it's those kind of little jokes that can fuck people over. It can start shit that doesn't need to get started. I'm just telling you that out of personal... Okay? So cool the shit. Cool your shit about me and Boston Brian and all that shit. Fuck you. Okay? I don't need it. I haven't hardly said anything at all about Boston Brian's time in his shows. You did that. And like I said, I know you're trying to be funny. You think you're funny and joking, but that's the kind of shit that gets out of hand. And it gets back to him like, oh, Trucker John's got some beef with you, man. Well, fuck you. I don't need that. I don't need that fucking aggravation. So just stop the shit right now. It stops now. People are fucking stupid, man. They think they're funny. And it's like, ha, 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 ha. And then shit blows up. So, I don't need the aggravation. I don't need that shit. Hey, Kimchi's here. Good to see Kimchi. Hugs, beautiful people. Love you all. Trucker John. I still like the old originals. I think the best. Even though you the technology icons are very small. I recognize that, so I know that you are someone else. No? Or are you Zuckerberg? Gary. Soulcraft says I had a lady leave her debit. Something happened with the. Oh, that's where I was. That was Jen Base's stupid comment. Remember that dude's face forever? It look on my iPad. It looks like I'm really glitching hard or buffering. I think everyone left because I think it must be buffering really super bad. Wow, I don't know what happened. Pinker Girl says Trucker John needs a bigger audience. He's one of the cool ones. Thank you, Pinker Girl. Appreciate that. Something happened because we went from like, I don't know, 50 people watching down to 9. But it does look like we might be buffering a lot. Yeah, my chat is kind of doing weird things too. I think I'm back to where I left off. But now I'm kind of like mid-thread on all these conversations, so I don't really like just reading a mid-thread thing and then because I don't even know, what's going on. Kim, she says werewolves aren't sexy. Sorry, but those zombies, man, they're sexy. I know. I'm just joking. Chris Doug, the Coyotito says vampires suck. I get it. Get it. That's funny. TJ, are you into car racing? I used to be really into NASCAR, but for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so, I've kind of just got. And then when I was really young, I used to like Indy and stuff like that a lot. But I've kind of just gotten out of it. A lot of stuff I don't really watch anymore, like I used to. Roxanne says werewolves and vampires aren't sexy. The gaming world can't be trusted either. They're up to something. One Coyotito 2, otherwise known as Chris Doug, says the vampire is a metaphor for people that drain energy, spirit, attention, love, and money from you. Do not let them into your life, and they cannot harm you. And apparently, they can't come into your house unless you invite them in. So think about that for a minute. Kim, she says, we are slacking. TJ needs 10,000 subs so we can do mushrooms together on live. Share on social media, please. Was that our deal? I forgot. So 4,000 is a dandelion. I guess is 10,000 shrooms. We're going to do shrooms at 10,000. Hopefully, Jolie is writing these things down because I'll forget. Hopefully, Jolie has the whole list of all the things I'm supposed to do at these certain milestones. But I'm sure Kimchi would remind me if we were at 9,999. I'm sure Kimchi would be there. Trucker John, we're gonna do some shrooms. You know what I mean? I know you know what I mean. I know you know what I mean. Pinky Girl hates TMZ. I haven't watched that really in a long time, but I remember every now and then I would watch it. Get all that gossip. Kimchi shared on Blue and X. Thank you, Kimchi. I think, are you sharing my show on Blue and X? I guess maybe. Sonny Folt says, TJ, what are you going to do with the money you got from returning the phone? I'm going to buy an island, my own private island with a big mansion on it and a helicopter and some shrooms. Kimchi says, Fancy, yes, indeed. We might get back together. With a laughing emoji. I'm mid-thread, so I don't, and then you don't know, what's going on. What's going on? You don't know. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. The Soulcraft says, when I see your name, Gary, my eyes try to see Gary Cynical. I kind of see that too. Gary kind of called Gary. That tip was like 1/4 of the weekly rent, or about half. About half. The weekly rent is about $420. Ooh, speaking of $420, I mean you guys love that number. So yeah, a little more than half, I guess. Wes still talking about taking a nap. Go take a nap, Wes. Pinky Girl, Siobhan makes my nipples hard. What is Siobhan? Siobhan, is that a singer that makes your nipples hard? Kimchi says, when I see Gary, I think of SpongeBob's pet snail, Gary. Meow. Pinky Girl says, Jack, why don't you pay more for this one? I'm totally mid-thread. I have no idea what we're talking about. Nick Rich is here, just lurking. Pinky Girl says, happy birthday, Elon. Is it Elon Musk's birthday today? Fancy, when do we get the next song? I guess, are you talking to Nick Rich? Because was Nick doing songs? I don't think I've heard any of Nick's songs, by the way. Maybe I have. I just don't remember. Rosanna, 21 is here, says, I have fibromyalgia too, Susie. I suffered from it. I suffered from it for mostly my entire life. It sucks big time. Gary kind of calling Gary, I hope we will fill the goal today. Me too. Pinky Girl, I love bombing. I love donuts. What's bombing? MJ Daniels from up in Washington, there, state, says, if I smoked a bowl, I would sleep for most of the day. Yeah, that would probably put me right out. Paul Burrows says, double negatives is a no-no in America. Peace out. All right, Nicholas, 12 noon, so I'm 16 minutes behind you. Christina Weibel's here. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the old driver's lounge. I do appreciate you. Wes Webb, rivalries get attention. I don't need that kind of attention, Wes. Search for You is here. Hey, Search for You, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Jet-based trucker on you are 100% my bad. Well, thank you for admitting that. I mean, maybe I overreacted a little bit just now, but it's true. I've had shit like that come back on me, where people were joking, and then, it turns into a big thing. I don't want to reiterate it, but I'm just saying we got to be careful what we say. And it looks like I might be buffering again, at least on my iPad. My iPad's frozen, so hopefully it's not frozen for you guys. I'm going like this to see if I move. On my iPad, I'm not moving. On my phone, I'm swaying back and forth gently. I'm gently swaying back and forth. But on my iPad, no, it's completely frozen. Roxanne 1979 says, Trucker John 3, Jen and I would never let Boston Brian think ill of you, but we get it. Sorry, we don't want to stir up shit. Don't stay mad, please. I'm not mad. I just you heard what I said. I'm not going to repeat it, but and like I said, maybe I overreacted. I don't know, but still. Sandy says I'm buffering again. I apologize for the buffering. Probably not anything I can do. Pinky Girl says, where are the naked shows? I don't know. Probably on Pornhub or something, maybe. I don't know. Christina Weil, maybe you changed it because I didn't change my name. I didn't change it. You didn't change it. I think this is a YouTube problem. YouTube did something. Yeah, Christina says maybe YouTube changed. Yeah, YouTube is. I'm pretty sure this is some YouTube issue with the putting the ats, our at addresses or whatever instead of our actual, screen names. My iPad just now unfroze, so I don't know if it was frozen for you guys the whole time or not. I really don't know. But I'm just now getting to Rosanna's $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Rosanna. 21. Yippee, $9.99. Thank you so much. That's a yippee to you. So she says, Rosanna says, sending donuts, a whole dozen, just for you. I love your community. I hope you have a great weekend. Well, thank you, Rosanna. And I hope you have a great weekend as well. I just now got to that. Sandy Foltz, it's not right to yell or, I guess, maybe argue with someone. If it's someone you don't want to talk about, then block the parrot that's bothering you. I'm going to start calling. I'm going to use that. I'm going to start calling people that bother me parrots. Gary Kanakali, Gary, I don't mean to be demeaning Kimchi. That's just my excuse. You guys are on those other chats, but I don't feel like I belong. But I'm usually not watching anyway. Okay. Speaking of 40 people, how many are Team Zuckerberg and how many are government employees? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the 41 people watching this particular. Oh, we're down to 30. We're losing them. I'm losing them. I don't know, Pinky Girl. I don't know. Chris Duck, I gave up on YouTube on the TV. Nick Rich says, "Oh shit," because we're buffering. We were buffering. Hopefully, I'm back now. I'm looking at the feed on my phone is like current. Pinky wants someone to take off their shirt. I don't know. If you're talking to me, you do not want to see me without a shirt. I guarantee it. Maybe back in the day, there was a certain time in my life when that would have been probably a nice show for you, but not. Those days are long gone. So anyhow, I was just trying to see if you guys are talking about buffering. I don't see any buffering in the current chat, so I think we're okay. Hopefully, we're okay. In the 15-minute ago chat, there was some buffering. Rosanna's still here. Wes Webb says there's too much buffering and glitching. Well, okay. Everyone has their limits, I guess. Let's all get along, guys. Let's not have any bickering. Wes Webb says some people thought that vampires were symbolic of royalty and the class system. There's all kinds of, I'm sure, metaphors and analogies that you could draw out of any movie in any genre, especially the vampire ones and the zombie ones. I mean, there's not just one. There's not just one metaphor or analogy. I mean, it is almost like in the eye of the beholder. You can take anyone can probably just about take anything out of anything. You know. Kim Shi says, my ethnicity is Jewish. My husband was Indonesian. No, I cannot speak more than 10 words. Pinky Girl, I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay, girl. I hope you're doing all right. I don't know. You seem to be a little, I don't know, a little high strung today, maybe. Kim, she says, piggyback off. John is mine. Okay, girls, don't fight. Don't fight. Don't fight over me. West Webb, I just want a little energy efficient house out in the outskirts of the suburbs. Don't we all? Unless you're Jeff Bezos and you can just shut down an entire city for your wedding. What's that all about? Hey, look, I really don't have a problem with a lot of stuff that Jeff Bezos does. But shit like that, it's like, really, dude? What the fuck is your problem? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess when you have hundreds of billions of dollars, you got to figure out some way to spend it. God forbid it be on paying taxes. No, you don't want to do that. But you'll fucking buy a city for your wedding. It's weird. These ultra rich people are just weird, and sometimes more than just weird, dangerous, I say. Although I don't think this thing is dangerous, the wedding thing, but it makes you just go like, dude, really? All right. Roxanne79 says 10,000 subscribers. We all do shrooms with TJ. There you go. Let's all do the shrooms if we get to 10,000. Why not? If you do it, in the safety and comfort of your own home, and you're not operating any heavy machinery, and you're an adult, of age of consent or whatever, then shroom up, man. Mr. Bob Newell, do you like stuffed crust pizza? I do. I do like stuffed crust pizza. It's funny, Mr. Bob Newell, last night at Planet Hollywood, I saw they had sort of like a poster or a banner up. I guess it's for a band. Have you guys heard of? Have you heard of? I'm sure you have. I'm sure Soulcraft probably has. I think it's a band called, and I've probably heard of them, but I just don't remember what songs they did. But a band called Pierce the Veil. I think that's what it was. Pierce the Veil. And I don't know if they have a song or an album or whatever, but underneath that it said, "I can't hear you." It said, "Pierce the Veil," and then "I can't hear you." And so, of course, the first thing I thought was Mr. Bob Newell. So there you go, Mr. Bob Newell. I was thinking about you outside of this chat, outside of this forum, when I saw that banner or poster or whatever you want to call it, billboard or whatever. Brooklyn says, "I hope Johnny Million comes on tonight." I don't think he is. I think he posted something where he's going to be out of town or he's going to do something. Like he won't be doing anything until next week, maybe. But don't hold me to that. I may have misunderstood exactly. I'm pretty sure today he's not going on. Or anything like that, At Zuluth, I make a mean blueberry pancake. I had pancakes for breakfast this morning. I didn't have any blueberries to put them in there. Kimchi, I hate all billionaires equally. I don't hate what's his face, Bill Gates. And even though people say they could probably bring up a bunch of shit that he's done or whatever, but I don't hate Bill Gates. I don't know. I don't even think I hate Jeff Bezos. But I guess I hate Elon Musk. I don't like Elon Musk, that's for sure. I think I probably hate him because, yeah, he's a Nazi. So yeah, it's safe to hate. He's safe to hate. I think you're okay if you hate Nazis. That's the one thing you can really hate. Yeah, Roxanne, I think I know who you're talking about. About the meds, maybe. Yeah, Nick Rich, Leon Scum is a Nazi. Yeah. So I think we can safely say that we hate him. Mr. Bob Newell, did you grab that dinette set for me? There was none. I told you there was none. Now, Chris Doug says Jeff Bezos' ex has given $19 billion of his money to charity. It's actually her money at that point. Anyhow, ha ha ha, you go girl, revenge is sweet charity. Sandy Folks, maybe I'm not going to restart, Sandy. 20 past, so I am 12 minutes behind. Pam J, you overreacted, John, and you aren't buffering right now at 12:20. But I may have overreacted in some of the stuff I said, but I did not. But what I said is true about so-called jokes can get out of hand, and it could create a situation that was never ever intended. That's true. That's not an overreaction, and I don't need it. I'll still stand by that. I don't need that shit. Kim Shee says, so what? I had a pig eating party. It was a long night and a basting that bitch. I've been to luau's. I've been to backyard. Like I used to work for a contractor, a builder, a house builder, and he'd have these big things with his crews, and I actually helped dig. I helped dig the big pit that they buried the pig in. They put a pig in there, and they like make a pit, and then they fill it with hot coals, and all kind of shit. They put the pig in there, and then they bury the pig in sand, and then they take it out, and it's just this tasty pig. I've done that. I've also eaten goat. It was sort of like a friend of a friend. They had a family ranch out. This is in New Mexico. They had this big ranch, and they were going to slaughter a goat. And they invited a bunch of us guys. We were football players from the football team. They invited a bunch of people from school and stuff. It was really cool. It was like a really cool, like an outdoor ranch party. And I witnessed the guy the day before, like killed the goat, slit his throat. I was there I watched that happen. And then the next day, when we came back, that goat was up on the spit or whatever you call it, and I ate some goat, and it was good. It was a good goat. Looks like we might be buffering again. I don't know. Pam J, I love you, Jim at the base. I know you didn't mean anything. My spiritual advisor says if it tweaks you, it's for you, meaning that maybe we need to explore our feelings when we get angry. Michael McAndrews with a $2.22 super chat. What year is this? Thank you so much. Yippee to Michael McAndrews with that $2.22 super chat. We're 2/5 of the way to the goal. This is the year 2025, I believe. Does it feel like we've gone back in time with the name changes there? Is that what you're trying to say? Mr. Bob Newell, do you like Olive Garden? I think you've asked. I think you're recycling some of your questions, and I think I said yes then, and I still stick to it. I'm still sticking to it. Bob LeBlanc, I just got here. Bob LeBlanc, aren't you? Who are you, Bob LeBlanc? I know you are one of the other names. Marwall 22, come on, y'all. It's Trucker John. Hey, Marwall 22, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Jojo Mojo Jojo. Love you, John, and everyone. I'm sick to watch. I'm too sick to watch, though. Take care. Stay safe. Wow, well, that you must be really sick if you can't watch. So I hope you get better. I hope you get well soon. I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling well. I hope you get through that as quickly as possible. Roseanne with a 99-cent super sticker with a nice little black kitty there. Thank you, Rosanna. Yippee to Rosanna with that 99-center. I do appreciate you. Bubble Blanc, Truck Stop Shower podcast. Motherfuckers buffer me there. You guys are, everyone's a little, I think everyone seems a little feisty today. Rosanna, another 99 cents super, thank you, Rosanna. Yippee, with that 99-cent super sticker. I do appreciate that, as always. Thanks for helping the show go and stay on the air. Michael Bagandros, we have an air show going on now here. The jets fly over my house. It's very loud. The Cherry Festival is going on here in TC, Michigan. And I remember you told me what TC means, and I've already forgotten. I know it's what the name of a town or something. Twisted Citrus. I don't know. Marwell says maybe fire up some firecrackers or something. I don't have any firecrackers. So Rosanna, $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, Rosanna. Yippee goes out to Rosanna. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And there's another 99-cent super sticker. Super sticker, Rosanna 21. Yippee to Rosanna again. Thank you so much. My arm's going to get tired here in a minute from doing all that. Michael McAndrews says, John, could you repeat the words of wisdom from last show? I missed it at the end of your show. My speakers went bad or something. Well, at the end of the show, I'll repeat them. Not right now, though. But at the end, we'll circle back around to that at the end. Marwell 22, maybe some techno music. Well, if you saw my video that I posted last night, I was outside, doing the taxi thing right next to the Omnia nightclub. And I believe Steve Aoki was there last night, and there was a bunch of thump, 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 thump going on. There was a lot of that going on last night. Yeah, Nick Rich, I'm really having a problem figuring out what the pinky is up to. Yeah, I'm sometimes you just let it go, I guess. I don't know. Kimchi says she's just bored, I guess. Brooklyn says no cursing except TJ. Now you guys can curse, I guess. Everyone can curse, I guess. Right? I don't know. I've never said people can't curse. I just said you can't, call each other names or engage in hate speech and stuff like that. Mr. Bubnell, Jeff didn't learn from his first divorce. Yeah. Well, maybe he did. Maybe he got a really strong prenup or something. I don't know. Michael McAndrews, Roxanne, every other year the Blue Angels do the show. This year is not the Blue Angels show. It's like an F-16 and some helicopters and an aerial show plane. Yeah, this is the in-between years. Marvel 22, I don't think my Uncle John got a trucker license. Okay. Paul J., can anyone recommend a treatment facility that takes Medicaid? No, I can't. I don't know anything about that stuff, really, unfortunately. But I will say that some of these comments here are a little unusual, a little different than usual. Seems like. Nick Rich says I picked up some what do you call it? I know that's like shrooms, right? Psilocybin. I don't know if that's right, but yeah. A few months ago, 3.5 grams for $25. I still have half of it left, waiting for a good reason to indulge. Michael McAndrews, my wife and kids just got back from a vacation in Japan. I would like to go to Japan someday. I would like to check it out, you know. Chris Doug says I did shrooms and a pizza chased me home. That's pretty funny. I gotta say, I'm skipping a lot of the chats because it's a lot of it's just not really worth repeating. So the better you guys are, the better the show is, I think. So Mr. Bob Newell says I give just marriage 1 year. Michael McAndrews agrees. Says me too, Bob Newell. Well, hey, I never want to wish bad things. Just I hope the best for them. I hope they have a great time. It says I really don't care about their wedding. To tell the truth, one way or the other. But Jeff Bezos sure is going out of his way to make sure everyone knows about it. With just with the extravagance of it. Oh, Nick Rich says 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I got to say adios, folks. Appointment with the landlord and some groceries too. Well, thanks, Nick Rich, for being here. You're probably already gone because I know I'm like 15 minutes behind that post there. So sorry I didn't see it sooner, but I hope you have a good day. Kim, she says my husband's parents left in 1969 because the Chinese were being discriminated against by the Muslim population, and the police did nothing. Now we are just as crooked. They are rolling in graves. Yeah, we've got some shitty shit going on with ice, and I don't think it's real ice. It's like fake ice. We got fake ice going through and rounding people up. Michael McAndrews says, I have a wonderful son named Jeff after my best friend from junior high. He is getting married early next year. Nice. Kim Shee says, we just used regular dirt to cover the pig by the pool. I missed that house because, I missed that house, but not my ex-husband. There we go. I'll get it out. Is this how far I am back in the channel? I was talking about roast pig seemed like forever ago. Roxanne is saying to Rosanna, I tend to share that story a lot over the years, but it's just so unique, and I'm grown up in the single engines and jets. It's all I know. It's been a different kind of experience. Hey, Suzanne Forsepi's here. Says, Jen up the base, good afternoon to you. David Windler, John, I ate goat in Las Vegas, New Mexico. You did too? That's where I was at. I was in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Were you there in, what year was that? 1987? Out at that guy's ranch? They said they filmed Red Dawn out there. Did we know each other? Did you go to New Mexico Highlands University? Maybe we know each other. Jim at the base says, the ladies don't need to fight over TJ. Share him in a throuple. Let's make a sitcom out of it, like Three's Company, Las Vegas. That might be funny. That might be entertaining. Mr. Bob Newell, what's the cleanest truck stop? I don't know. There's some pretty clean ones. A lot of them. It's not like you see in the movies. There are some disgusting ones, but most of them, I think, are pretty well kept. Jolie says, I think it's the heat. Everyone's losing their minds. Yeah, that could be, Jolie. Crazy from the heat. We're all going crazy from the heat, I think. Kim Shee says, my daughter, I was jealous. That's funny. Sandy Foltz says, Trump is going to cut Medicaid, food stamps, and Medicare. They sure as hell are trying. Trump and all those Republicans in Congress, but a lot of them, some of them anyhow, they realize, like Josh Hawley in Missouri, and I think even Mike Johnson from Louisiana, so many of their constituents are on Medicaid and Medicare and stuff. And so Mike Johnson isn't. He's pretty much a lackey for Trump, but they are facing some resistance. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's all up in the air right now. Pam J says earthquake in Northern California at 12:37. Wow. Yeah, it's just another day in California. Oh yeah, Gary. Rosanna is stoned. Pam J, it was just a big thump. I'm pretty sure it was an earthquake. Gary Kanagali, Gary, I'm not Bob Thanos. I don't think he appreciates me. He's heavy on the hotties. Jen at the base says, Trucker John, I'm sure you know that Steve Aoki's dad founded Benihana. I didn't know that. So you were so sure, but you're wrong. I did not know that. I did learn something about being caked, because I did pick up two people that they were like kind of older people, I guess, probably younger than me, but they weren't your typical, I guess, nightclub. Most of the people I see, and I did post a video on that line going into the Omnia last night, and I would say 99% of them are like in their 20s or something. But anyhow, I picked up these two people. They said they were from England, and they were telling me they were at the Omnia and they saw Steve Aoki, and they were just checking it out. But they were just in Vegas, just having fun and checking everything out, and they just wanted to check it out. And they said they learned something. They learned about getting caked, and I was like, "What's that?" And he goes, "Oh, well, let me tell you." And apparently, Steve Aoki, what he likes to do, I guess he gets a big cake, and as he's playing and everyone's getting into it, into the music or whatever, then he gets this cake and he'll like throw it at somebody, and he tries to like throw it right in their face. And apparently they love this shit. The people that are dancing or whatever, and they want to get caked, and they're like, cake me. And they were like, and the people, my passengers, they're like, we didn't want to get caked, and they didn't. So we stayed in the back or whatever. So I learned a new thing about being caked or getting caked from Steve Aoki. Steve Aoki. Sandy Foltz, what was going on with the fire trucks? I don't know. That's just another Friday night in Vegas. It's just constant. The fire engines and ambulances and the cops and everything. Someone probably got hurt. People get run over. People get stabbed. People have drug overdoses or, heart attacks. It could be, it could be anything, really. Like I said, just almost 3 weeks ago, on the other side of that was where two people were gunned down. What's going to happen on the Strip, man? It's the fucking wild, wild west out there, man. MJ Daniel says, want something fun? The Seaside, Oregon is having a Corgi beach takeover. You can see on their YouTube live. Corgis are cute. Wait. Oh, corgis. Is corgi? I was thinking of a dog, but is that a bird? Like, maybe I've got it all wrong. I might have it all wrong. Chris Doug, otherwise known as Coyotito, says, I thought we just had an earthquake, but it may have been an orange Cheeto man baby walking on the green at Bedminster. Mr. Bob Newell, is it okay if I recycle my best material? Well, if that's your best material, then maybe you need to work on some new material. Jim the Base, Sugar John. Three's Company Japan can be a season 2. I smell opportunity. Oh, yeah. MJ Daniel, 17 when I went to Japan. Had a great time. Pam J. Oh, now it's our fault. Sandy Foltz, read your chats. I'm not reading every single chat, Sandy. I am not. I would be 2 hours behind right now. Okay. I can only do this for so long before my battery dies and before I run out of energy. I'm not going to read every single chat. I can't. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Can't do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Not going to do it. And we just made the goal. Thank you very much. Michael McAndrews, I see a $3 super chat. Hi in Traverse City. There it is. Traverse City. And then another $4 one. It just says oops for some reason. Thank you, Michael. Yippee and yippee. We made the goal. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate you. Congratulations to Michael McAndrews and to everyone. I'll read the fan funding in a second. Thank you all. Big round of applause. And thanks everyone here for liking, subscribing, and sharing. We got 38 watches, 71 thumbs ups. Can we get to 75 thumbs ups? That's the question. So hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. And thank you, Michael McAndrews. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. MJ Daniel never understood the obsession with celebrities and the wealthy. Well, I think some people like to live vicariously through them. You know what I mean? It's like if they can't be rich, then they can, watch someone who is, or someone who's, popular or whatever, And I guess I do that to some extent. I don't know, but yeah, but the obsession part of it—that's the key word, I guess. So it's not really good to be obsessed, probably about anything. Gin up the base really wants to get this Three's Company thing going. Roxanne 1979 says, "Have you seen the before and after of Bezos' lady? Yikes! She ain't afraid of the knife and needles. Geez, she used to be attractive, but she looks alien now with like her lips are like hot dog buns." Yeah, I remember her. She's a local LA newscaster on the local, like, I don't know, Channel 5 or something. I remember seeing her. Yeah, she was very pretty. And I guess as she's gotten older, but she's trying to still look like she's 25. And I guess the technology is the technology or the behind the plastic surgery just isn't there yet, I guess. Although I did see Dolly Parton is in town, or she's going to be in town here for some performances and stuff. And they have a billboard of her up where she looks fantastic. Now, I understand things could be, they used to do, what they call it? I mean, now everything's like, CGI and AI and it's all computerized and they can do anything. So I don't know what she really looks like in real life. But in this billboard of her, she looks fucking great. And I was just thinking, wow, she must have the greatest plastic surgeon in the world, and also the greatest nutritionist and the greatest trainer, because isn't she like 80 or something? So, but like again, that was on a billboard, electronic billboard, and they can doctor all photos and stuff can be completely doctored, but I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Looks like John Deff is John Deff here? John Deff is definitely here. Hey, John Deff, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping into Driver's Lounge. We're just kind of hanging out today. We're getting kind of kinky in the chat. A lot of kinkiness going on, and, as well as some other things, I guess. So join us, won't you? Soulcraft, David Lee Roth, crazy. I don't know what that's about. Suzanne Forisepi says, I'm typing in all caps like Ovi Ivo guys since YouTube channel did an update. I don't know what that has to do with anything. David Windler says, wow, John, I was around then. Las Vegas, New Mexico, lived near University, I guess, was a piano tuner in northern New Mexico. Wow. We may have bumped shoulders or however that, rubbed shoulders, rubbed elbows. We went rubbed elbows. I don't know. I was there. I went to New Mexico Highlands. I was playing football there in '87. Gary, can I call you Gary? I know a guy who wrote a song called "War Makes Me Horny" in college. Never published, except we played it on the college radio station. That sounds funny. Gin Up the Bass has a whole premise for this show, for this Three's Company reboot, apparently, starring myself and Kimchi and Pinky Girly Girl, and would like to cast himself as either Mr. Roper or Mr. Furley. All right, then. Roxanne, chat is random today. Very random, yes. That's okay. That's the thing about this chat and about this show is we go off in all different kinds of directions all the time. You just never know where we're going to go. That's kind of the great thing about this is you never know where we're going to end up or go or do or say. We are kind of all over the place. Josh is home. He's been listening. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate you for being here and for coming on in. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. We're at 72. I'm trying to get to 75. Why? Just because I think 75 is kind of a cool number. I don't know. You know? Gary, can I call you Gary? Not a political chat today? Not too much. Yeah, not too much. No, not really too much. One Coyote 2, otherwise known as Tris Doug, says Johnson has a large population of constituents in his district on Medicaid. They may roast him like a pig if he goes home to Louisiana. Yeah. He must be like, on the one hand, I am a Trump sycophant, and I must do what he tells me to do. But on the other hand, if I go home, who I might get my ass kicked. You know? Pam J says, in our recent Pride Parade, there were participants calling themselves Helens with their counterparts, the Stanleys. It's some kind of ropers club. Oh, I never heard of it before. Me either. Me either, Pam. I've never heard that either. Wow, that's kind of funny though. Um, Kimchi chat is so confusing today. Yeah, we're all over the place, but that's cool. That's cool. You know, it is what it is. Josh says, so nothing fun like a tiger escaped from a show. Michael McAndrews, my dad is 94, is still sharp in the mind. That's good. That's always good. You know, that's a real blessing. You know, to have a 94-year-old dad who's still pretty sharp. That's a good one. You know, that's a good thing. Josh says, my kid walked across the stage for her high school diploma yesterday. Congratulations, Josh. And on your daughter. That's a great moment. I know when my kids graduated, you know, I always make sure I was home, see my kids cross the stage. And it's a big moment, you know, it really is. MJ Daniel, have to watch your step though. Dozens of dogs on the beach at the same time may get messy. Marsha with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Marsha. Says, sorry I can't interact. TJ's sick cat and not doing well. Oh, I'm sorry for your cat. Sorry your cat's sick. Hope your cat gets better soon. And that's okay, Marsha. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much. You beat it, Marsha, for the super chat. And I hope your cat gets well soon. It's sad when our pets get sick. I don't have any pets right now, but, you know, I've had pets before and they've been sick, and it's not good. So, hope your cat gets better. Michael McAndrews. So the other day we saw a deer laying in our backyard, eating the grass. Unusual in the suburbs with a chain link fence in the yard. Yeah, but those I've seen deer, man. They are so agile and they can jump fences that you think they couldn't jump, and they do it in one bound, man, over like a 10-foot fence. Apparently, though, there must be a height. Well, of course, if it was 100 feet, they couldn't do it. But, you know, they do have deer fences along some of the highways, and they must know, you know, they must know, like, if we do 12-footers, that they're not jumping over that or something, because they will make these deer fences that are pretty effective. Michael McAndrews, I hit the like 10 times. Hey, we are at 75, though. Thank you guys so much. 75 thumbs ups. You guys are awesome. Can we get to 100 in the next 3 minutes? I don't think so. We're at almost 2 hours, and I will having to be ending the show about then, so my battery doesn't die. Marsha didn't even look at the goal, was just supporting. Thank you so much, Marsha. Yeah, no matter what, I appreciate you. Pinky Girl was sad today. Pinky, I know something's going on. I hope you're okay. Hope you can work through whatever's going on, And just know, things usually get better with time. Gary Kanakali, Gary, we have lots of deer at my golf course. They leave their foals laying and go graze. Aww. Richard Probst, hi Trucker John, do Republicans care about the lives of their constituents? They do if they want to get reelected. If they want to have a career long term, and they see Trump as being a lame duck, and they want to have a career that goes beyond that, then they do. I would say. I would submit. But Kimchi said, Richard, no, they only care about the money. Well, there's that. But if they want to continue with the gravy train or the whatever, I think that's why we're seeing some pushback by some of these Republicans, because they're not just here for just the next couple of years. They plan on being here for decades or whatever. And so that's otherwise, if it wasn't for that, then they wouldn't give a fuck, probably. Michael McAndrews says, here in Traverse City, Michigan, it's like a small town and lots of woods around. Suzanne Forsepi, I prefer peace and quiet and normalcy back soon. It would be nice to have some peace and quiet. Sometimes though, you need to have some loudness, and then you need to have some quiet. A little bit of everything. Oh, here's Jolie chiming in on Dolly Parton. Jolie says Dolly Parton got asked about plastic surgery years ago in an interview. She said, "If it's bagging, dragging, or sagging, I'm getting it nipped, tucked, and sucked." Love her. Yeah, she's awesome. She's pretty awesome. And if you guys have seen that, I think it's like a promotional photo of her. She's wearing like all kind of like yellow or orangey yellow or whatever. She looks fantastic in that picture. Like I say, I don't know how much of that's doctored, just photographically, or but whatever she's got going on, she's going on. Pinky Girl, Shakira is playing tonight at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, for your information. Yep, Shakira is in Las Vegas. I do love me some Shakira. I've always thought that she is just adorable and cute as a button. And I remember, this is going back, now this has been quite a while, almost, 15, almost 20 years now, probably, when it was the whole, like, Britney or Shakira. And I was always like, Shakira, Not that I had anything against Britney Spears. I mean, I don't. I mean, I know she's kind of messed up. She's done some messed up stuff. But, I mean, I don't hate Britney Spears or anything like that. But just in that sort of hypothetical, it's always a hypothetical, like, who do you like better, or who do you think's better looking, or whatever, And these are celebrities, and they put themselves out, and they base a lot of their popularity on their looks. So I think it's a fair thing to do. Maybe to some extent. And so the whole thing, it was all over. Whatever social media we had then, and whatever was going on, there was that big thing, like Shakira or Britney, and I was just like, without a doubt, Shakira. Didn't even have to think about it. Gary, can I call you Gary? Says, I saw 4 young skunks the other day, as well as a raccoon. We have a couple of resident mallards and many unwanted geese. The geese are the worst, aren't they? And saw a couple of red foxes a couple of years ago and a groundhog last week. Do you mind if I call you Carl, the groundskeeper? No, I'm just kidding, Gary. I hope you didn't take that the wrong way. I just meant it's a joke. Kimchi says, Bob, my in-laws wanted an Indonesian garden, but they had to plant pears and apples and figs and cherries and peaches. Love my backyard so much. Hate this tiny old house. I'm sorry that you're in a place that you hate. That's not fun. Bob LeBlanc, 305. I'm about 13 minutes behind. So I'm going to skip down in the chat and just sort of cherry pick a few and get to the end here. Josh says there was some hilarious repeating glitches during the buffering while I was driving. Really? Wow. I wonder how that came out. Stephanie B2 is here. Stephanie says, I'm here listening and getting things caught up before my hip replacement. Thank you, Stephanie, for being here. I appreciate you. And once again, good luck on the hip replacement. Hope that all goes well for you. And you have some new great hips. Aaron West reminds everybody that Trucker John has channel memberships, super chats, subscribers. And you can also buy me a coffee over at buymeacoffee.com. And just remember, Monday's show will be Members Only Monday. Just so you know. It will be a Members Only Monday on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'm just cherry picking some deals here. Josh says red squirrels are more destructive than brown and gray squirrels for sure. I never really thought of it. Actually, I never did break down like which squirrels are worse than other squirrels. So that's interesting to me. That is kind of interesting. Michael McAndrew says squirrels and rats will eat your network cable. Took a few days to figure that one out. Oh, I've had cars, like I'd be on the road so much, and then my car would be just parked. I used to live out in the desert, really, kind of remote, and I know that there was like probably rodents and stuff eating at my wires in my car. It was parked in my yard. I know that there were rabbits that would nest in there in the engine compartment. It got to the point where I had to open the hood and make sure there were no rabbits in there, because I'm pretty sure I killed one once, because I saw one in my front yard with, it looked like his whole underbelly was all just kind of ripped open, and that could have been, some people will say, well, it was probably a coyote. I think the coyote would have dragged it off and ate the whole thing. It looked like it was from a fan blade is what I got. So anyhow, yeah, there's stuff like that happens. The Soulcraft says, I just got my pup insurance, but still have none. But I still have none. So your dog has better insurance than you do, and you don't have any. So that only in America. Only in America, where our pets are insured, but we aren't. I think that says a lot about our situation. Michael McAndrew says, I like the trees. We have pine trees and blue spruce, and I have 2 large sugar maples in the front yard. Sounds lovely. That does sound lovely. Right now, I'm just sort of needle dropping. Kimchi says, Pam, if your husband's whole family weren't hoarders, laughing emojis and things, cleaned out 4 dead people's junk. Yeah. People can hoard shit. Stephanie B2, I got lucky. The network my hip surgeon is in is dumping my insurance, but my insurance company asked him for continuative care to do both hips, and the doctor accepted. Awesome, Stephanie. That would be a shame, like if you'd have to like kind of like start all over with the process or whatever. So I'm glad for you there. All right, guys, we are at over 2 hours now. I don't want to go too long and have the battery die, and then the thing just ends, and then I can't get my words of wisdom out. So we can't do that. And I'm going to repeat yesterday's because Michael McGander's apparently the audio. He said the audio went out or something. So I'm going to repeat those. I'll repeat it today for Michael. If any of you guys heard it, then bear with me. Bear with us. We'll go ahead and do that. We're up to 81 subscribers, by the way. I mean, 81 thumbs ups, by the way. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you. So again, if you didn't get this down, just give you a second chance to get this. Is a really good one. Yesterday was probably one of my best words of wisdom. You might want to write this down. You might want to frame it and hang it up on your wall. That's how damn good it is. Okay. All right. So here you guys. You ready? Write this down. Get your pad. Get your pencil. Get your paper. Get your crayon. Get your Sharpie. All that good stuff for today's words of wisdom. Here we go. Are you ready? All right. So what we all want to do is we want to.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about those too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. Gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire. Shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.